A while back, one of my friends suggested me a book, which it really helped me with a lot of things. As a person that overthinks for every step that I take in life, this book was really helpful. I don't know why exactly us humans struggle so much with, self-doubt, procrastinations, and all of these things when there's things that we need to get done. And I've always wondered, why is that our brains constantly try and work against us? It's like we're in a constant battle with ourselves in order to get things done. So this book really changed my perspective on how I view things and actually gave me the answer to what that could have been. And that was called resistance. And it made so much sense to me that it's something that we don't really think about, but when you're doing something, there's some sort of an energy, like a resistance, that it's not letting you progress or do that. For instance, you want to do something and you're like, oh, I'm just going to leave it for tomorrow because of this reason. And you're constantly coming up with excuses for yourself in order to procrastinate what you're supposed to be doing. This book really covers well the procrastination, the self-doubt, and just getting comfortable with yourself when you actually need to be doing stuff. And that's resistance. Resistance keeps you comfortable and doesn't really allow you to take another step into your direction, into actually getting things done or starting something new. That's why a lot of people don't find the confidence to do something, because confidence finds you once you've taken the first step, once you've actually put it into action. And this book helped me understand a lot of the things, just accepting failure, never giving up, showing up consistently, and working towards your emotions. Because if you do that, the emotions don't overcome you. You don't start to overthink so much, and you don't come up with excuses to not get the stuff done. The more you work towards the things that you want to do, the resistance will weaken. The more you engage with the problems, the more you actually put into work. When you think about it, this concept is so huge, because everything that we do in life, it has to do with the resistance. If I, for instance, feel lazy to just get up and maybe do laundry, or just get up and do any type of thing, that's just the resistance that is blocking you, and it's not letting you progress where you want to be. The most important things are usually the hardest, because the resistance is fighting them the hardest. So in order for you to overcome the resistance, you gotta also fight towards it the hardest that you can. Get up, get your work done, don't overthink it, just constantly push it. Since it's a battle, it's something that I had to accept. I'm a person that overthinks. I'm a person that my brain most of the time will want to come up with excuses, will want to go to the battle with me. And I was like, okay, I'll take you any day, because I'm not going to fall into this negative thoughts, and I'm just going to keep working towards my goal. So by pushing yourself, no matter how lazy you might feel, it's like a muscle. The more you're going to exercise it, the more easier it gets as you progress. It's something that we have to accept as humans, that procrastination, self-doubt, and all of these things are a part of our brains. It's a challenge. We just got to fight through it and not let it win over us and not be able to do anything at all. It's something that I've accepted. When I was trying to just avoid it, I wasn't really doing anything because I knew the problem was there. I'm just avoiding the problem. That's something that I understood while reading this book and while engaging with people, with problems. I know I'm repeating myself, but the more you deal and you engage with the problem, the easier it gets, and you will find ways to come around it. You will find ways to become more efficient into these things. The negative thoughts, the procrastination, and all of those things, the self-doubt, they will weaken over time because they don't have room to grow within your brain and just kind of tire you to the point where it's also feeding into the resistance, and the resistance is becoming stronger. So the more that you fight it, the more you execute this stuff, you put stuff into motion, the resistance will just naturally become lower. And I remember I even recommended this book to a friend of mine, and he was like, yeah, I'll start reading it. And then the next day he was like, no, I haven't started reading it yet because I was doing X, Y, Z. And I just told him straight out, that's the resistance. That is your resistance that is stopping you to start to read the book in the first place. That's a resistance on its own. Like, for instance, if you have to write a document, or you want to go work out, or you want to go for a walk, but you're feeling lazy, under the weather, you don't want to really go outside and just do these things. That's the resistance. It's stopping you from doing something that is more healthy for you, getting out there, working out, enjoying the fresh air and all of those things. But the resistance would rather just have you staying in your bed, be lazy, not do anything with your time, have your life go to waste. Resistance can disguise itself as being realistic, because sometimes you might be willing or you might want to do something, but then you're kind of starting to overthink, oh, maybe this is not going to work out because of this and yada yada. One thing that I've learned is that without you trying, you're not going to know for sure. So engage with it, see it for yourself, and then determine what the next outcome or what the next step is going to be. The reason why I really like this book is because this applies to everything that we do in life. Whether you are an artist, an entrepreneur, whatever, these are the things that whatever you're doing with your life, they apply to it and everybody gets affected by it, you know? Most people get stuck because comfort feels safer than actually doing something, and resistance increases when you're closer to growth. It's something worth mentioning as well that the more you work towards your goal, the more challenges obviously you're going to be facing, and for as long as you keep marching towards your vision and just constantly not letting resistance feed into those things, then you will just overcome them easier and easier each time, because action reduces fear more than just thinking. So yeah, overall the book just frames creativity between the daily battle between being creative and working towards your goals and the purpose. I would recommend this book to anyone that is struggling with overthinking, procrastination, self-doubt, and just not knowing how to continue working towards what they want to do. As someone that has been overthinking for pretty much my whole life, I've always been one of those guys that self-improvement books and all of those things sure can help, but I was really fascinated when I saw that this book would actually change the way I look at life, because the overall concept of the biggest enemy being the resistance just completely changed the way I was looking at things. And then it immediately switched my brain to look for solutions, to constantly engage, work towards my goals, and not let my self-doubt, my procrastinations, my overthinking feed into the resistance, because that's the main issue that has been for my performance and the main enemy to everyone that wants to pursue something. I'll even read some very powerful quotes that I chose for this book, because I feel like they just resonate really well with what I'm talking about. Resistance will tell you anything to keep you from doing your work, which ties back to everything that I just said, you know, coming up with excuses, overthinking, and literally anything that is the opposite of what you're supposed to be doing, just so you don't end up working. Resistance, by definition, is self-sabotage. Resistance thrives on weakness. Resistance cannot be seen, touched, or heard, but it can be felt. The better we get, the more we fear. And that's completely fine. Because like I said, the more you continue to grow and you're facing it, the fear might increase. But that's a good thing, because you're also learning and you're not giving up and you're engaging. And when you keep the consistency to work towards this and just fight it, the weaker it gets, and there's not going to be room for the resistance to get in your way. And if you think about it, we can so easily overcome this, because at the end of the day, it's all in your head. And the more you just work towards what you want and just put them into actions and not pay too much attention to what the resistance is telling you, then you will have no issue to just continue growing, build what you want. For as long as you constantly tell yourself what the vision is and what your ambitions are, and you work towards them, you will achieve them 100%, and there's no one that can stop you from doing that. Hope that helps, and let me know in the comments if you've already started reading it or you've read this book. Would love to know what's your take on it. So yeah.